Welcome back to this week's live, the YouTube live and the podcast. Hope y'all having a good week. Man, it's already a crazy week. Hopefully y'all week's been going pretty good. So welcome back to the Waterfowl Den. My name's RD for the new people. 1 week before Christmas. Like, where did the year go? I mean, feels like we just got done one waterfowl season. We're back into this one. The season's already started, and now it's Christmas. And you know what that means. When it's Christmas, it's just a couple weeks and it's a new year. So crazy times. Hopefully y'all having a good week. I know some of the guys I hunt with, they've been they've been having a pretty good week hunting. So hopefully wherever you are, you having a good hunt. There is a cold front that's being pushed in right now, so I'm sure that's going to be helping some. Welcome back, Jeff. Hopefully you got some rain out there. I know a little bit came across the west coast side of the states, but it could have been closer to Oklahoma where that picked up at. I was hoping we would get a little bit of rain, but man, the past 2 days have been like tremendous fog. And I can see the fog already starting tonight. So maybe with this cool front coming in tonight, um, maybe that will definitely push some of this fog out of the way. But I don't know how y'all. I ask people all the time, how's your hunting when it's foggy? And people say, oh man, that's when I had my best hunt ever when it was foggy. And I have never had a good day hunting when it's foggy. Like, I hear birds everywhere, never see them. They never see my decoys. It's crazy. Jeff said his season ended yesterday. Wow, man. Now what you gonna do, Jeff? Like, I mean, I know it's Christmas, so let's get past Christmas and New Year's. What is there to do? What season's next for you? I know it's going to probably be cold out there where you at. So what passes the time between this season and the next season, or was it a split? Our waterfowl season just started back, and to tell you the truth, I am really looking forward to this Saturday. This Saturday, we got picked for a draw hunt on one of the waters that all the people. So Canadian geese is next. Well, that's a fun hunt too now. So all the old timers in South Carolina always talked about Santee Delta, Santee Delta East, West. Uh, I never hunted that. When I'm talking about the old timers, I'm talking about the days when people hunted lead, the good old days, as they would say it. But with that being said, they have bought up a lot of that land. Um, but when I say they, the state, South Carolina, they either bought it or Ducks Unlimited bought it and then turned it over to the state. Bunch of other organizations, kind of like DU, they buy the land and turn it into managed hunting areas. So South Carolina has a bunch of them, and they do draw hunts. And this is our third year for putting in, and we got a draw hunt. So Saturday, I am tickled pink. I can't. I honestly like. I really can't wait. But the downside is, it is now. Let's see, 10-day forecast here. Right now, where that game management is, today was 73. So by Saturday, the high is going to be 50. So hopefully we get some bangers of a hunt. Just as if we get some here to hunt. Hey, so it's not always about the hunt. And I ain't gotta tell Jeff that by any means. Um, a lot of people, they get on Instagram and Facebook and they look for these piles of birds. Um, you really missing the point of especially waterfowl hunting. Like this weekend, it's going to be me and two of my buddies. We hunt together all the time. Yeah, we want to see birds. Yeah, we would like to have a pile, but it's the memories that we're making. It's the hanging out. It's the fellowship. It's the camaraderie. Me personally, I enjoy the eating, either the snacks or the afterwards hunt. But this place where we're going Saturday, you got to bring your own decoys. They're gonna take you in and drop you off. And it said in the email, you may be in a john boat paddling out, you may be in the marsh, and this is like home to us because we hunt out of kayaks and we do a lot of marsh hunting. So as long as they got good cover, that's all I'm hoping for is good cover. Something that we can blend in and hide in. I don't know if there's going to be like a blind, like a pre-made blind. Who knows? Jeff says DU did a project here, turned it over to the state, and they let it go. Eh, absolutely, Jeff. That happens a lot with states too. They buy the land, turn it over. Poor management, either the person don't know how to manage it. Uh, a lot of ours in South Carolina are in hurricane zones near the coast. There used to be old rice plantations, and the levees, they take a pounding each year. Well, we're usually, I'm not gonna say every year get a hurricane, but there's usually some type of a tropical storm, hurricane, and it's just a constant repair of levees, and it takes money, and a lot of times, sadly, the money doesn't go to duck hunting. It goes to roads and infrastructure and slush funds and who knows where else, and it falls to the side, and duck hunters get left out. So that's how it happens a lot of times. But DU does a lot to try to preserve that. That's why a lot of Ducks Unlimited and I cannot think of the other one off the top of my head. I know it's a waterfowl. Mine goes blank. Um, yeah, I still can't think of it. Usually a lot of that money goes to Canada because it's where the breeding ground. Delta, thank you, Delta waterfowl. Brain dead, Jeff. It's only the middle of the week and my brain is dead. A lot of that money goes to Canada because that's where the breeding grounds is. You want a good breeding that produces more ducks. Also, giving them food and habitat and a place to rest also is a good thing. Rest and food keeps them in your area. It doesn't really produce, babies. That's up in the breeding grounds, but it does help. Um, that's what happens usually with these birds. The places that used to be their stomping grounds where they would come and feed, farmlands are now housing developments. It pushes them into other zones and they adapt and go other places because they're hungry. So if you never donated to any of them organizations, at least look into them. Um, there's a lot of different organizations. There's a lot of different breeding. Well, maybe not breeding, but banding organizations. Uh, you could do a lot yourself around your own property to help ducks. Joe says they have to have brood cover. Yes. So mallards, pintails, they all breed different. Every duck breeds different. The problem with a lot of them birds are they brood or breed into uh, farm crops, and the tractors, when they're going through, destroy the nest. So a lot of DU and Delta has worked with a lot of farmers to change their time that they harvest to make sure the waterfowl has finished and the babies are grown up and moved on. Um, Basically, they're working with the farmers. You know, the farmer's in it for one thing, producing a crop to make money. I mean, it's a full time job for them. But if they can time it correctly on the way it harvests, especially around these breeding grounds and where these ducks like to go, makes a world of difference. And I'm sure there's some kind of financial kickback to the farmers that, these organizations are also helping the farmer also. But I can't wait this weekend. I really hope um, you have a set limit. I don't know if anybody's ever hunted game management land, but you can only take 25 shells, and they will check you on this one because the game warden is going to be there when you get there. Uh, 25 shells per person. In theory, you would only need 6 shells. And technically, if there's only 3 wood ducks, you only need 3 shells. But you know me, I can't shoot that good, so um, I'm probably going to take all 25 to get anything. But I haven't got around to. I can't remember if I mentioned it last week where we went on our trip. We were hunting some peanut in a peanut field, and my gun got jammed up with like just sand. And that was the Maxis. And then that last day of waterfowl hunting in Reelfoot Lake, that Maxis just completely stopped cycling. Like it did not care. When you pull that bolt back, it felt like sandpaper. It's just nasty. Um, I haven't got around to cleaning that gun yet. Like I have been so busy that I haven't been able to take that gun apart. And I'm 100% sure that spring in that buttstock has got to be disgusting. And on one side, I know I need to do it. On the other side, I'm like, I'm putting it off. But if I don't do it, there's absolutely nobody else is going to do it for me. So, um, tomorrow after work, that is my job to do, is to clean that Maxis and get that baby ready for this weekend. If not, I gotta take my extra gun. So that's one thing I always like to tell people: when you go on a trip, always take an extra gun, especially like when you go on these big hunts and you're way away from home. Things happen. The gun was perfectly fine. A sandstorm covered the gun. Gun would not cycle. Springs break. The ejector. It's not ejector pin. It's the little ejector hook on the side that grabs the shell that flips it. Them break. Firing pins break. Uh, there's so much that can go wrong with a shotgun, especially when you're 500-600 miles away from home. Take an extra with you. I typically take a Stoker. I got a couple Stokers. Sometimes I take the pump. Sometimes I take the automatic. The pump, kind of hard to break, but there's so much that can go wrong that it would stink just to sit there and watch other people hunt. Now, if it was a guy to hunt, hopefully the guy would be like, "Hey, you're paying me. Here's my gun. You hunt with it." But if you're doing any self guiding, you're doing any, you know, you drive to the next state over, you get out there, it might be one of them just watch the sunrise and you wishing you had your extra gun. So I always take mine with me. So might have to use Old Faithful this weekend, but my plans are tomorrow is to break that Maxus 2 down. And it's not that I'm really putting it off. I really want to film breaking this gun down and cleaning it again. I've done a video with it, but it's in like sections. And this part where the spring is in the buttstock is a beast to clean because you have to take the buttstock apart. You have to use this special pin. The spring is very spring loaded, and I just want to do it from the whole gun experience and cleaning it. So that's mainly the reason I hadn't done it, because I hadn't had the free time to set up everything to record it. And if I'm going to go through that whole process, and that's really how my YouTube channel started. Like, I was patterning shotgun shells, and my theory was, if I'm spending money on these shells and they either look really good or really terrible, I might as well share that information with other people. Like, why not? Uh, One of the first few videos was about my Maxus 2 and how it jammed and how I fixed it. Um, One of the other videos was how I learned how to reload. If I'm learning something, I might as well put it out there so somebody else can learn also. So if you ever doing something you're like, man, I'm sure somebody could benefit for this, throw it on YouTube. Another thing with YouTube, these videos will be here for who knows how long. Um, they're great memories. Um, Occasionally I got some videos, I got my kids in them, but we ain't guaranteed tomorrow by any means. And these could be videos that my kids go back and watch, my family go back and watch. You got buddies you hunt with. Uh, they're just great memories. And plus, you meet all kind of people, like Jeff here. I have never personally met Jeff, but he's here every week supporting my channel. And Jeff, I greatly appreciate it. And he lets me on some insights of what it's like to hunt in his area. And when I get a brain fart, he fills me in. So it happens. I've met some great people along the way. So we got Mike just joining. Welcome, Mike. Mike will be one of the buddies that goes this weekend, and Mike, I was telling him, I hope we lay into him. That should be our zone. I mean, we hunt the marsh a lot, so boy, I hope we own it, Jeff. Now that you shot a few birds with it, how do you like that TSS steel combo? And are they better than plain steel? All right, Jeff. Welcome, Palmetto. So with my 2 3/4 inch TSS that I patterned in the air flying, the birds that I've literally shot stone cold dead. If any of them are crippled and your water or you water swatting them, you're wasting the shell. 100%, 100% useless. I don't know if the TSS should have been there before the steel got there. And I know water swatting and doing cripples 50%, 75% of the birds under the water. And as soon as it hits the water, them pellets are done. Like, it's not going to penetrate. I don't know the the logic behind that, Jeff. It is a 2 3/4 inch shell. It is a 15/16 of an ounce. So it's not even a whole ounce. Is that the reason why there's no cleanup? I don't know. So in some of my other videos in the past couple weeks, Salt Creek Ammo sent me some TSS 3-inch that he is now making. And I used it out there in Oklahoma. Oh my gosh, like legit 100% wish I would have had a whole box of it. I only had like 3 because I had to save some for this past weekend when I made should come out. One just came out this past Saturday where I was patterning it in a Super Black Eagle, but I had to save some ammo to actually pattern test it in the guns and chokes. So I couldn't take what he sent me because they were for testing. But oh my gosh, that new shell that Salt Creek's came out 10 times better than my 2 3/4. So I don't know, Jeff. In the air, that 2 3/4, fantastic. I may need to up the ounces of maybe TSS. Maybe I need to go to a 1 ounce. Maybe I need to go to a 1/8 ounce. I'm not sure. So that's probably going to be this summer kind of fun. Palmetto says, "Where are y'all heading now?" We are going down to the Deltas. We got picked for that draw. Georgetown was a madhouse last Saturday. I hear Georgetown here lately is a madhouse for sure. Um, Mike says tons of managed to kill some buffalo heads. Yeah, Mike, you came in a little late. I said that you and Matt, y'all been getting on them. One of I went on this 1 week trip, and when I came back, they were like, "You need to go with us." I'm like, "I actually got to go to work. I can't call in or I can't take no more vacation. I actually got to go, at least show my face because I've been gone for like over a week." Um, they look like they were on it. Jeff says, "Is it a 50-50 between the TSS and the steel?" Mine is not. Um, pellet wise, yes. Pellet wise is 90 TSS, and I think the steel is 102. So technically that is 50-50 pellet wise, but not if you were measuring the size, because TSS is way smaller than by the steel by weight. I don't know the answer to that, Jeff. I got it measured out. And I think if you go back and watch some of the videos that I did making that one, possibly I got that weight in there, but off the top of my head, Jeff, I do not know the answer to that. I ain't even gonna lie. Uh, I know it's a 15th, 16th of an ounce, and it has 90 TSS and about 102 number 3 steel. Some of that Salt Creek sent me was 4s and 9s, and the other shell was 2 and 9s. If you watched that last video, that Super Black Eagle, I think I posted it Sunday, this past Sunday. Oh my gosh, that 4 and 9 percentage wise, it was like 70 something percent, but it literally covered the paper. So we're just starting back in our season. I still got plenty of shells, so I don't know what's going on shell wise in the real world. But what I was seeing online was some of this tariffs and some of these companies that are cutting back on some of the components that's made in shotgun shells. We may see a price increase coming forward on shells. So if you don't have shells, you might want to. I'm not going to say fear, go out and buy some, but now would probably be a good time to pick some up. Um, Hopefully before next year, when all the craziness of politicalist. Let's see, how's a nice way to say that? When when a new president takes over, things change. Regardless, Democrat, Republican, we're not getting into that side. Things go up, things go down, things are going to change. So I don't know. If you see a good deal on some shells, you might want to pick up a box or two because things are definitely going to be rocky there for a little bit, especially with the TSS. I'm currently out of TSS, and I am not buying any at the moment because of the prices of TSS. I mean, it is ridiculous what TSS costs. So this weekend, I'm going to be going to my backup, which is bismuth. That's usually what I shoot anyway. Um, I know there's some steel people up in this group, and I keep trying to talk them into swapping over. If it's in the decoys, 100% steel is going to get it done. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with steel, but after 40, 45 yards, especially 50 and 55 yards, that steel ain't going to get it done. Um, I knew you were going to say that, Mike. Um, I don't even know. I haven't ever even shot none of their blends, but man, I'm telling you, because most of these times when you're shooting steel, you you had the mentality because even when we go sea duck hunting, I am not shooting bismuth. I do shoot steel because them jokers are hard to finish off. But when you had the mindset of steel, it's like, oh, I'm gonna send 3 shells, and it's like boom, boom, boom. Well, them 3 shells just literally equaled one good shell. And when you had the mindset of, hey, I got good shells, and you actually slowed down to take the shot, you actually save money. But there is a cost difference. And I'm not even talking TSS. I'm just talking um, steel or bismuth. Yeah, $25 a box at Florence. What blew my mind while we were up in Reelfoot Lake, there's this little teeny gas station, and oh my gosh, they got to be making like major bucks during waterfowl season because they open up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they have breakfast, and the hunters that come in there are by the truckloads, and they got gas pumps, and it's right there near the water, so all the boats are filling up with fuel, getting something to eat. I mean, they are slam packed in the mornings. But when I walked in there, they had 2 different kinds of steel ammo. One of them was $18 a box, and I could not even pronounce the name of the box. Like, I almost bought a box just to pattern test it, but I mean, when you couldn't even name the box, when you couldn't even read what was on it, and everything was in centimeters and millimeters, kind of made you scratch your head. But $18 for steel was pretty cheap. And then the Rios were only like $19. And Rio makes a decent shell. But like I said, regardless, if you can get the ducks to decoy, steel will 100% do the job. But in South Carolina, with them passing shots, because for the most part, I'm not going to say the wood ducks don't decoy because they do, but we get a lot of passing shots. And that being that bismuth or TSS is even better, but I understand the price of that. But the bismuth will greatly improve your chances of taking a bird because you're not having to do the distance. It's faster and has more takedown than steel at 45 and 50 yards. But with that being said, with that TSS steel duplex that Salt Creek just sent me, I got a shot on camera, at 70 yards, one shot, boom, mallard stone cold dead. And I was like, I sent it to Keith, and I'm like, dude. And even when I was pattern testing this stuff, I'm like, you should put it on the website. And he's like, I can't because I can't get the wads. The wads are on back order. As part of that, what I was saying, you know, things are on back order right now that you used to could get. Um, so so Jeff says, have you bought from Prairie Wings TSS? No, no, I have not, Jeff. Uh, the last time I bought TSS, it came from Bees Metal. It could be Mr. Bees or Triple B's. It was something with a B, and possibly was his name Brandon. I can't remember. He's on all the Facebook pages. He's a pretty well known name, and of course, you know, when I come up here, I grabbed the wrong phone, grabbed my work phone, so I can't look up anything. But I think it's triple B's metal. Um, I don't even know what the price of TSS is at the moment. I think when I bought it, it was $38 a pound, and I think it went up to 40 something dollars a pound. And by the time you pay shipping on that too, a pound of TSS, and you start getting a couple pounds of it, you got a pretty good shipping rate also. But Palmetto, what do you normally shoot? You normally shooting steel, or you slipping any bismuth in there? What about you, Jeff? What's your go to? And I ain't talking about just decoying. Am I just blowing smoke, or have y'all seen the difference? So Palmetto says normally steel. So there is a delay, so I have to wait when I ask the question. Usually there's like a 30-second delay. Um there is a couple other bismuth out there that's pretty decent, but the problem with bismuth is um bismuth is super soft, and people talk about it fragmenting and stuff, and it depends on how they coat it and what other materials they add into it. So if you do buy bismuth, at least get a brand that has a reputable bismuth material. Palmetto says, been shooting terrible this year. To be honest, shot cam shows me shooting almost every bird. Shot cam shows me shooting over almost every bird I shot at. All right, so Palmetto, I understand you completely, and Mike is, if he's still in here, Mike misses just as much as I misses. So I think that would be the wrong. Anyway, I miss just as much as Mike misses. Uh, I think in South Carolina, like when we go out of town and there's so many birds, and you have the opportunity to watch them, and you know more birds are coming, you can take your time, you can take it all in. But in South Carolina, it feels like bird. Oh my God. Look at that. That's the first bird we saw all day. And it's like we're rushing. And it feels like we rush shoot. And I know I shoot in front, behind. I do the same thing. I look at them shot cams, and it's like, dang, you missed. Like, not only did you miss, the bird was going this way and you pointing this way. Like, what were you thinking? But I really think that we we don't have the birds. So when we see them, it's like, oh my gosh, look at that 42-inch point buck right there. We have never seen a buck like that. That's how we feel. And I really think that's what happens. Especially like the birds that we're looking for. Like one of the guys that we're hunting, is wanting a shoveler. Like, it's like, oh my God, there's a shoveler. And you're not taking the time. You're probably not putting your cheek on the gun. You just pointing and spraying. I mean, honestly, I really think that's what it comes down to. And it just stinks for us in South Carolina because I see it with the guys that we hunt with. If the first birds come in, we usually miss. And once we calm down a little bit and we're not rushing, man, our bird count goes up. It is just what it is. We never get the opportunity, and when we do, we overcome. Absolutely, Mike. I honestly, I really think that is. And these people, like I said, if you go look at these, let's just say Mallard Bay. So I'm going to give Mallard Bay a free plug tonight. MallardBay.com, possibly Mallard Bay something. You can go to their website and you can say, hey, I'm looking for a guide to hunt. And it's going to show you all these states. Well, you know what state don't have a guide service highlighted on it? South Carolina. Have you ever heard somebody be like, man, I sure would like to come to South Carolina to duck hunt? No, we don't have it. So just so that's the thing of being old, it slows me down. I hear you, Jeff. I hear you. And see, that's another thing though. What a lot of people, and I'm not gonna say daddy duck, but I'm gonna say daddy duck, and the older people, they're dropping to the sub gauges, which are okay. I'm not a sub gauge kind of guy, but when you drop sub gauges, especially to a 28 gauge, you're dropping in weight, like gun weight. Like my max weighs close to 7 pounds. I think it's like 6 pounds something. And these 28 gauges are super light. I feel like if I had something lighter, I may even like push my limit even further. Like it's going to be so light that I'm just throwing it up. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking the sub gauges. Maybe the lighter would help, but the way I feel is the heavier weight at least tries to make me slow down because I'm having to push the thing. Maybe I'm pushing it too hard. I don't know. All I can say is, Palmetto, get you a box of bismuth and see if your bird count don't come down. Because one thing that I could tell you 100% true about bismuth and definitely TSS, bismuth does not like to be choked down. TSS does not like to be choked down at all. So if you're shooting steel, and let's just say you're using a full, well, you can use the same gun, but in bismuth, you want to drop back to a mod because it needs to be opened up a little bit. And when you go to TSS, it does not like to be choked down at all. And you would think, hey, I'm going to tighten this choke down on it, and it's going to have literally the opposite effect. And this is coming from somebody that shot thousands of rounds out back. It's not that I can hit 1,000 birds. I at least know what it's going to look like on pattern. Trust me on that one. Not trust me to you need to go 2 foot in front of the bird and then pull the trigger. Yeah, I can't help you on that one. But I could tell you from experience with bismuth and TSS, if you're thinking, hey, I want to get further and I'm going to shoot a tighter choke, nah, you will literally blow that pattern completely the opposite way. Like it does not make sense. You strict it too hard, it'll go like that. And it looks terrible. So if you do take my advice and try bismuth, drop back one choke. Palmetto says, I stopped at Max Saturday and grabbed some hunting 2 days in Arkansas. So you grabbed some bismuth, Palmetto? Just I was in a bad head on accident 4 years ago, so I can't handle the 12 gauge kick anymore. Dang, man. Glad you're still around. That's what I was talking about earlier about with YouTube. Man, it's like this week, just in our town, like not the obituaries, but they were in the obituaries, but like the notifications that you see on people's Facebook of car wrecks this week, like I don't even know how many people has died in my own county from head-on collisions and wrecks. I mean, I'm terrified to have my kids and my wife on the road because I mean, like wrecks. And I think it's got something to do with all the traffic with holidays. But man, it only takes 1 second. And that's what I was saying about the YouTube. I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. Um, and I know how Mike is on here. I know where his heart is. He may not be here next year. And these videos on YouTube of us hunting, I can go back and look at him. He can go back and look at me, his kids, my kids. So, there's so much to YouTube. There's a lot of stuff that, we all go to YouTube on how to fix the refrigerator. There's how to do this, how to do that. And at least I know Mike has a channel too, and my channel. It's not about the piles. It's about the kayaking. It's about the adventure. It's sometimes about the Scooby snacks. Um, we try to take that in. We try to take it into the video. We try to show that, hey, this is what it's really like in the blind, especially in South Carolina. Hey buddy, what we doing today? We're gonna watch the sun go up and then go get some kind of breakfast. That's what it's like in South Carolina. But one day, one of us isn't gonna be there. One of us is gonna wake up and we ain't gonna have the other buddy. Maybe we get old and we have to drop to the sub gauge, and the every weekend has to eventually stop and come to once a month, and but they're all memories. Exactly what Mike said. They're memories. These videos of the podcast, the lives, they're just memories. But also with the memories, they have been um, fellowship of meeting new people, talking to Jeff, talking to Jay, which Jay is typically on here also, but he is smoking them. Like I don't even know where he's at, but he's sending me pictures of these birds, and I'm 100% jealous. So maybe we won't be next week. We'll talk about that. But next week's Christmas. Maybe the week after we will get him on to let him talk about all the stuff he's got. So let me catch back up to the comments. Palma said I used the kick mod. No, I'm going to stop Saturday, leaving this weekend. Okay, yes. I would imagine a mod. What gun? That makes a difference too. So a mod in like a Stoger, Benelli, Mike's. I'm gonna call it a Frenchie, but he's gonna tell me it's not a Frenchie. Um, Brain has went dead. It is a. I know it. I know it's inertia. Um, he'll comment. Um, that is not the same mod that is in my Browning. They are completely different. Just find one maybe before you go. One thing about it, like if birds ain't flying, you can always shoot the water, look at your pattern, shoot mud, look at your pattern. You can always do that out in the field. Yeah, it'd be wasting a shell. You might want to tell your buddies before you just, hey, I want to see what my pattern looks like on the water. But yeah, you might want to do that. Yeah, but what model is it, Mike? I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue. So Palmetto is using an A300. That's a pretty daggone good gun. So yeah. Yeah, Jeff, it's about spending time with family and friends because you never know when God's going to call you home. That's exactly Affinity 3. I thought that's what it was. Um, so Palmetto said that he's going Saturday. So let me scroll back up because I know he said where he was going. Where were you going, Palmetto? It is up here in the comments somewhere. Well, at least I thought it was. It could be overlooking it too. Arkansas. So Arkansas, that cold front's coming. It could be a pretty good push for birds right there for sure. Welcome, Mark. Yes. So Mark says shoot smaller shot if you're shooting bismuth. Me personally, I like 3.5s. I like 4s. Uh, I on number 5 bismuth. They got number 5 bismuth and a number 6 bismuth. Again, in South Carolina, we don't get them in the decoys. Like that number 5 and 6 is pretty small in bismuth. I feel like I wouldn't do too good with that. But oh my God, number 5 bismuth, it probably even a number 6 for teal. Man, I bet a 2 3/4 or a 3-inch would have at least 300 pellets in it. Um, Hopefully you do good. How long are you gonna be gone for, Pamo? Hopefully keep an eye on the weather. You know, right now there's so many number 5 bismuth. Yeah, I have used the number 5 bismuth for early. Like I said, I kind of like a little bit bigger pellet towards the winter time. Again, passing shots. That's merely it. That's pretty much all it is. Um, just hunting Saturday and Monday at Daniel Boone's. I heard about them before. Hopefully you do good. So Jeff says 4, 5s, and 6 to bismuth, depending on the situation and type of birds. 100%, Jeff. Like I said, I love the 3.5 because you got the 3s and then you got the 5s. But I did a video, and I'm not going to say the brand, but I did a video where they were claiming the bismuth could shoot 70 yards. Now, we all know 70 yards is hoping and spraying. Let's just go ahead and take that out of there. It could be considered sky blasting, and some people's going to say 70 yards of sky blasting, and then the other person is going to say, well, it's not sky blasting when the bird falls. That's true. We're taking that completely out. But this shell was a bismuth that was saying, 60 and 70 all day long. And when I pattern tested, it barely went through the paper. Made a great pattern, but like some of the BBs were stuck in the paper, not in the pallet, in the paper. And I'm like, man, if it can't even get through this paper, it sure ain't gonna go through them feathers. So, I was kind of questioning on that myself. There is a limit to bismuth. Now, when you get into TSS, that's a whole different world. But yeah, Jeff, 4, 5s, and 6s, man, you can't go wrong. I got a little container, and I can't show it because they'll flag me on YouTube. But I started buying these plastic shell holders from Cabela's. And what I've been doing is I've been loading like not the same box of shells. Like I've been putting number 4 bismuth like at the front. I've been putting some 3.5s. I've been putting like a row of steel for like cleanup. And then on the other one, I may jump to a 3-inch. So in my box, if we get there and they're wanting a decoy in the decoys, then I may change and use this row of shells. And then if it's a cleanup and I know we got time, I might put the steel in. All I'm saying is I've really enjoyed having this see-through container that I can line my shells up because you never know what the birds are going to do. Typically, I would go with the bigger pellets like the 3.5 to start with because you never know what the situation might do. And then once it changes, you can then know your shells in order versus just throwing them all in a bag and you don't know what you're getting, or they're all the same. Welcome, Mississippi. Um, yeah, number 5 balls hit hard. I agree. I was shooting balls up till meeting Keith, and I switched over to Keith's number 4s, and that's what I shot all of last year. I shot 2 3/4 number 4s, just straight 4s. Um, if you saw the video from Sunday where I was pattern testing his, I didn't let it slip. It was intentional, but secretly I have a brand new box of 3-inch bismuth that he designed. I'm gonna be pattern testing it. It's Salt Creek ammo. Um, he has bismuth too. So this new 3-inch shell that he redesigned, sent off for testing. I haven't shot any of it yet. Um, but I have a brand new box to do a lot of testing with. But up till this last trip, I still was shooting 2 3/4 number 4 bismuth. I am completely out of that, and so I am back to a few other shells that I'm going to be taking on this trip this weekend. But 3.5s are great for snow geese also. Jeff wouldn't know. Couldn't tell you what. Couldn't. I've seen one snow, literally one snow, with my own eyes in South Carolina, and I've seen one snow on Facebook that a buddy of mine shot in South Carolina. So up to this point, that is the only 2 snows that I have ever seen in South Carolina. And I promise you, them jokers had to be pushed in with like a hurricane or something. What type of shot are the new shells? They're four. I'm pretty sure they're 4s. Now you got me questioning. I got to pull up the video to look. Of course I can't. It really stinks, y'all. On lives, like they limit you on, and I understand it because there's kids watching. They don't want cussing. They don't want ammo. They don't want guns. They don't want all this other stuff. I have literally pulled up videos while on live, and they demonetize that video just by showing a picture or a video of something, which is crazy. But I'm trying to stay in the rules, and plus the box is downstairs. But I will pull that up here. It was on Sunday's video. It was a Super Black Eagle shooting the new TSS from Salt Creek, and I had that box kind of not hitting in the background, but it was a teaser. So that's basically all it was. It was a teaser. Um, so I got the video here now. Of course, there's got to be an ad to play. So let me get past this ad, and I will let you know 100% what it is. Someone killed a snow in the Delta last week. So I'm glad you said that, Mike. I have seen 2 pictures of old squaws being shot in South Carolina this week. Like that would be like also like a pintail holy grail of a bird to be shot. So we do have duck hunting in South Carolina, and I do talk junk about we're not being a duck mega capital of duck hunting, but the birds that do fly through South Carolina is pretty crazy. You never know what you might see. All right, Jeff. The Salt Creek is a 3-inch, 1 3/8. No, 1 3/8 of an ounce, number 4 straight bismuth. So 12 gauge, 3-inch, 1 3/8 of an ounce, number 4 bismuth, and it's moving at 1,325 feet per second. So that is the new test load that I'm going to be coming up with soon. When will it be? Well, it ain't going to be this week. Um, So won't be this weekend because we're going hunting. And the rule said we cannot stay past 11 o'clock. So I hope we stay to 10:59, and I'm bringing enough Scooby snacks that we're gonna stay to 10:59, unless we have got our 3-man limit. But given the opportunity that we have, we might just wait them out. Um, yeah, Mark said saw some old squaw down on wow, how do you say that? Wahona Bay. Literally 3 years ago, me and another guy that sometimes randomly goes hunting with the group of us. Me and him went to the Outer Banks, and we're sitting in the Outer Banks, and this bird flies in. Now, granted, I'm still new to duck hunting. I think this is my fifth or sixth year. So this bird flies in, lands in the decoys, and I'm like, what in the world is this white bird who has a sprig on it? I'm like, the only bird that I know that had a sprig was a pintail, and that's not a pintail. So here I am out in the middle of this blind, out in the middle of like the sound. I'm trying to Google waterfowl birds, and I'm like, man, what is this bird? Like, I could not find it. And then when I found it, I'm like, oh, that's an old squaw. And the bird goes, shh, gone. And I have not seen one since. So I literally had the chance to get an old squaw, and I didn't know what it was. So, they always say if you don't know what you're shooting at, don't shoot. At that time, I was practicing good hunting skills, and I did not know what it was, so I did not shoot. And for the past 3 years, I have literally beat myself up for not taking the chance to shoot that old squaw. Jeff says, so the greater snow doesn't make it that far south. Where do they winter at? The greater snows. I don't know that any snows, greater or lessers. To tell you honestly, I personally don't know anybody that shot a specklebelly. We have it in our catalog. The DNR that says they call it the white face, and they give you a limit, and they give you a limit of snows. But I don't know if they come over the mountains. I know the snows are in Tennessee at Reelfoot Lake. The snows, the specklebellies, you hear them 100% there. If you go to North Carolina, which is the state above us, and you go to the Outer Banks, you will see snows there, but they are on a refuge. Like, you don't see them hunting. You have to go to the refuge and you see them. Now, is it because we don't see them because we don't have the decoys for them? Because I personally ain't never hunted snows, and I watch all these videos of these people hunting snows, and they have like 20 dozen decoys out there. I mean, it takes them probably 2 hours to set these decoys up and the flags. I mean, there's probably 200 decoys out there. Hell, well, I don't even know nobody's got 200 decoys. Not in South Carolina. So I don't like I said, snows and specks would be like a holy grail in South Carolina. Now you can drive to the Outer Banks, and when I say Outer Banks, driving to the Outer Banks from my house, which is pretty much right there at the state line, it's an 8-hour drive to the Outer Banks. So when I say it's in North Carolina, the next state over, that is a drive. So we don't really have them Atlantic flyaway, not like the Mississippi. Yeah, Mississippi, the Tennessee. When I was up in Reelfoot, oh my gosh, you can hear them. You can hear them snows. You can hear them specks. A lot of times in the afternoons at Reelfoot, because up near Reelfoot Lake in Tennessee, it ain't no farmland beside it, right beside the Mississippi River. You'd see fields full of specks and snows. I mean, you just want to go out there and punch them in the face. But Like I said, other than North Carolina, I don't know where you would go. Um, oh, Jeff says you can't call them old squaws anymore. They call long tails now. Man, them jokers. We getting politically correct on the ducks now. We can't even call them old. So the long tails, regardless of what they were, it was right there. Like I could have threw the shell at the bird, and I didn't know what it was. I'm 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 still beating myself up. Um, Matt says Matt does. Long tails were killed at Murphy's Island. Yeah, I know. I seen the pictures like this week on Facebook. The guy's holding it up in South Carolina, and I'm like, you lucky joker. You know, sometimes you want these birds, and I do have a good many of them mounted. Like I could tell you, I got a few birds that are at the taxidermist now, and I really want to make a video soon. I'd have to move the boat out of the way, but I want to make a video for two reasons. One, to share the memories, and two, talking about if something happens to me, my kids and family would know where these birds went. Blue winged teal. We were down near Charleston. Mike was with me. First time ever shooting a blue winged teal. That is that bird. The lesser and greater, Outer Banks, the ringneck, 4 miles from my house. Um, they all have stories. The Canadian geese, which sometimes you can see it on camera, sometimes you can't. There was two of them. That was the first two geese that I successfully called in myself. They weren't coming. They turned. They came into the decoys. Memories. So there are birds that we want, and bringing up a story when we went to the Outer Banks, I told Mike was like, I want a pintail and a couple of, I think Matt said he wanted a redhead or a can or something like that. I'm like, I want a a clown face sea duck. That's all I want. I want a clown face. And we get there and I'm like, Mike, you never been to the Outer Banks? Sir, you're getting the first shot. This bird comes flying in. Mike pulls the trigger. Bird folds up. I'm going to let him tell the story. He can finish the rest of the story in about 20 seconds. He's going to type it in, and you're going to see exactly what I said. So Palmetto says, I'm heading out. Y'all stay safe this weekend. Safe travels, Palmetto. Randallizing my name. I come up with words, man. See, that's memories. Um, I know Mike's typing that in. They changed the name of our refuge, Squaw Creek, to less hills sensitive anymore. Hey, the Redskins are coming back. It ain't no Washington Commanders. I really hope that is a thing that they bring that back. It was a clown face. So the bird comes in, Mike pulls the trigger. I'm talking about textbook flying in. Mike did a heck of a job. One shot, folded up. And as soon as that bird hits the water, I'm like, yeah, you Mike, that was a clown face. Oh my goodness. What in the world? That was the only clown face we saw that whole weekend. So it's just memories. That's all it is, just memories. Like Jeff said, you never know when we're going to be called home, and really, it's memories for me, it's memories for others. But man, we got to definitely take it all in, and that's one thing about waterfowl hunting that I truly enjoy is the friendship. I don't like deer hunting because you usually got to do that by yourself. And I'm usually a talker. So I kind of enjoy being around people. I don't like being by myself too much, uh, because then the wheels up top start spinning and they start talking to themselves. But Mike said he's still in the freezer. I still text him. I get it when I get back from Africa. So Mike's going on a missionary trip. Um, I know where he's going and what he's going to do, but the key details of it, I don't know this everything. But I know he's going to try to do some missionary work in a couple of weeks. I think it's in the new year. Um, so y'all definitely keep the people that keep him in prayers, but keep the people that their team is going to go reach to in their prayers. That's the main thing. Um, yeah. So this weekend, I hope to have some good video. You always have plans. Oh, I'm going to take great video, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to set this camera here, and it's going to get this footage, and it usually never works out. Or you set the camera, and no birds fly in, or you forget to set the camera, and there's birds everywhere, and you thought you were recording, and you didn't get any of it. So it is what it is. So he's going to Kenya mission for kids at an orphanage and a school. Mike, that's probably where I need to go because they wouldn't understand me. And if I made up some randomism words, um, they would just nod. And sadly, half these words that I make up, what I'm saying. So, yeah, good luck there, Mike. Um, but yeah, that's the plan for this weekend. We hope to probably smoke every bird that comes in. That's probably not going to happen either. We're probably going to miss some for sure. You do sound like I'm speaking. That's true. I, you know, I, hey, as long as we have fun, I'm making somebody laugh at half the words that, um, like today at work, they were playing some Christmas games and they wanting to do um, Pictionary. No, it ain't Pictionary. What is that? Where you draw something with pictures. We had drawing the guess, and I'm like, man, I would definitely do some drawing, but if it has to come down to spelling or grammar, y'all all gonna lose. Like 100%. If we were in a hostage situation and we were all in a room and somebody said the whole room is gonna get it if you don't know how to spell, I'm sorry, you shouldn't have been in a room with me. I am one of them that during spelling bees, I was the first person to sit down. Like I never made it past the first the first round. So work on a computer, I got you. Spell something, I'm out. I am out. So all right. Well, I hope y'all have a good week. Palmetto, if you're still here, if you're not, safe travels. Make sure you get them all. Um, we will all be in trouble. Yes, Jeff, 100%. And it is some Southern accent that, probably doesn't help me any either. I'm still learning English as my second language. So maybe one day. We can't be great at everything. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm great at. It's something. I just don't know what it is. Maybe eating. Uh, so before everybody gets off, before I get off, today's Wednesday. I got a friend that's having some surgery tomorrow. If you could keep him in your prayers, I would greatly appreciate that. Um, I know a few people on here that definitely believe in praying, and I 100% um, believe prayer still works today, and I 1000% believe that my God is still in the miracle performing business. So if you can add my buddy, which I'm not going to say his name, but if you can add him to your prayer list, I would greatly appreciate it. 100% prayer still works. So Until not next week, because I'm not coming on next week. I would come on and say, hey, look what I got for Christmas that my wife gave me. But my wife contributed my Christmas to my week of hunting. And if she gets me anything, I'm going to be shocked because of what that trip costs. And honestly, I'm to the age now that, you know, she buys what she wants and I buy what I want and be like, Merry Christmas. And I know one of her items was a new air fryer downstairs. It's a, I can't even think of the, is it Drew Barrymore or something? It's this new company. I think it's Drew Barrymore because it's got a B on it, just like a letter B, and it's pretty white, and it's supposed to be like this pretty uh, appliance stuff. But she got that for Christmas, so can't go wrong when you buy your own and say Merry Christmas. So we'll not have nothing next week because I'm pretty sure next Wednesday is Christmas Day. I'm pretty sure, and yeah, we're not going to do anything on that day. So y'all have a good Christmas. Remember the real meaning of Christmas. Let's don't take Christ out of Christmas. I try not to get too far into the religious side of on the YouTube, but you know, this Christmas, like I said earlier, you know, family members, parents, grandparents, take that all in because you never know. You never know. So until the new year, I'll see y'all, and y'all be safe. I hope we smoke them all this weekend. If not, we're going to send some shells down range and laugh about it. And we're definitely going to eat something good. So until the new year, y'all be safe. Remember the main reason of Christmas, and I'll see y'all next time in the new year. See y'all. Matthew Knight with Satura Investors out of Charlotte. There's the information. The link to his website is scrolling across the banner down at the bottom, and it's also in the description. Today's episode is about helping business owners and working professionals like you who share a passion for the outdoors, shooting sports, zeroing them in to their long-term financial goals. So if you need any information or contact or any other questions, contact Matthew. Also, go check out Salt Creek Ammo. This triple curl TSS is some of the best TSS I have ever shot. This is for waterfowl edition. It's made for waterfowl. So if you're going to shoot a species that you've been chasing for a long time, don't use no cheap ammo. You pay good money to go on a trip. You got great guns. Don't cheap out on cheap ammunition. This TSS is amazing. It's got number 7s, number 8s, and he has number 9s. So go check out saltcreekammo.com. Here you will find any kind of ammo you're looking for. He has custom loads, TSS in 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, low pressure ammunition. You got Predator ammunition, turkey ammunition, anything you're looking for, give Keith a call. Also to the channel, Kicks Industries, most people will know them as Kick Chokes, has came on board, and I have done a bunch of series lately on waterfowl choke tubes, turkey choke tubes, deer choke tubes. So go check out Kick's website for all of the chokes that can fit your guns. Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC, has partnered up with the channel. It is your go-to provider for all your hauling needs. They are not just any hauling service. They are an active DOT interstate hotshot hauling provider. Flint Ridge Service, LLC, prides itself in its reliable transportation services. This team ensures that your cargo is delivered safely and on time no matter the distance. Whether you need to transport goods across the county or state line, they have the capacity and the expertise to meet your hauling needs. Equipped with a smooth riding 40-foot air ride equipped trailer and a max hauling capacity of 20,000 pounds, there's no load too big or too small that they can't handle. Look no further than Flint Ridge Hauling Service LLC.